Hello, my name is Ross Mabey. For this project, I watched and studied The Deer Hunter, a film released in 1978 that highlights the brutality of the Vietnamese War, mainly on the prisoners of war. One of the interesting aspects of the movie is the absence of an authoritative figure during the combat scenes. While Michael, played by Robert De Niro in the movie, ends up being the strongest and in turn most looked up to by his fellow soldiers, he entered the war the same rank as everybody else. There is no general to be seen or to take orders from. The absence of authority in the film can be related to the Kent State Massacre, an event that took place on May 4th, 1970, 8 years prior to the release of the movie. What started as a gathering protesting the war that was currently going on in Vietnam ended in the Ohio National Guard opening fire, killing 4 and wounding 9 Kent State students. The shooting sparked outrage nationwide and several schools were forced to be closed due to protest. While the job of a National Guard is to protect the well-being of citizens in this country, at that time guards abused their power and rather used it against the citizens of this country. With a National Guard with no apparent boundaries, citizens back home felt the power of the people in no way could be trusted. This is reflected in the film. Rather than answer to higher order, the soldiers fought for themselves, picked each other up, and got each other through tough times. For example, at one point in the movie, 2 of the main characters, Michael and Nick, find each other in prison with death seeming inevitable. With the soldiers captured, each was tasked with playing Russian roulette in front of the guards, repeatedly until one of them died. Nick and Michael cooked up a plan in which they requested to play together. This ended up in taking advantage of the guards, killing them, and ending up free. The lack of authority in the film is also related to the resignation of President Nixon on August 9th, 1974. President Nixon resigned due to the Watergate scandal, where during his campaign illegal wiretaps were used and important information was received from the Democratic Committee during his 1972 campaign. While all roads led to guilty, to Nixon and his men desperately tried to cover up Watergate, but it all ended when they forced tape recordings to be handed over. As President Nixon resigned, all trust in authority in our country had gone out the window. One of the opening scenes in the movie shows one of the boys who is soon to be deployed, his mother standing in a church. She states over and over how she no longer understands anything and can't even turn to religion for guidance. When a soldier in the scene early in the movie had recently come back from war, his response to every question regarding battle was answered by, "Fuck it." As the soldier seemed to have no pride in what he was fighting for, likely not knowing at all what in fact that was. Many soldiers and citizens of the U.S. in fact had countless information withheld from them through the duration of the war. From 1945 to 1967, countless classified documents were compiled at the request of the Secretary of Defense at the time, Robert McNamara, that detailed the United States' involvement in the war. With the general public having no access to these documents, soldiers were often left fighting for a cause unknown. The combat in this movie was brutal. In the few battle scenes, the soldiers can be seen blowing up large numbers of civilians, and countless people are killed. A large section of the film is Russian roulette, where soldiers are seen crying, going crazy, and few times as a viewer, we even get to see the bullet go through the skull of the soldier. The combat is up close and personal. The soldiers fight for each other and have a deep hatred for the Vietnamese. While it is obvious the soldiers would be confused due to the Pentagon Papers and the weak forms of authority like Nixon, the soldiers were proud to be fighting for each other, and that is very evident in the film. The Vietnamese genre films are often glory, highlighting the horrors of battle at the time and spare no details. This is evident in the various Russian roulette scenes. Often, there is no trustworthy or apparent authoritative figure, which is extremely evident at all the battle scenes in the movie. The soldiers often have no idea what the purpose is, which is once again evidenced in the "fuck it" scene at the bar. This Vietnam movie is hard to watch, but of course it is worth every single minute.